Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the question, is medical school hard? Now, the obvious answer probably is that, yeah, of course it's hard. I mean, you finish it responsible for people's lives and their ability to walk, their ability to eat, depending on whatever specialty you go into. So obviously it's supposed to be challenging and it's supposed to push you. But what might surprise you is what actually makes it hard versus what the misconceptions are. If you've ever visited something like Student Doctor Network or the Reddit medical school page, you might be very discouraged to see that it seems like everybody's having a tough time and they hate med school and they hate their life because of it. So is it as bad as you hear? Is it as soul-sucking as you hear? Well, the answer might surprise you. The reality is that as a medical doctor, like I said, you literally have people's lives in your hands. Their livelihood depends on your knowledge and decisions. So if you think about it, if your parent or yourself needed a medical service, would you want somebody as your doctor that had to prove themselves over and over again and work their butt off, or someone that just scraped by? And there you go. So the reality is it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to challenge you. I mean, if you look at the barrier to entry, look how hard you work to even get in. So it is challenging, but I would say it is not as bad as people make it out to be or say that it is on pages like that. So stay away from those things, and if you are going to read them, take them with a grain of salt. So as far as what actually makes it tough, everybody's heard of the fire hose analogy. And this is essentially saying that learning in medical school is like drinking from a fire hose just because there's so much information. And that is definitely true. The things you learn in medical school are not particularly difficult conceptually. They're fairly straightforward concepts as long as they're taught in an organized fashion, but then you have to apply these to real life complex problems. So even if your professors aren't the best, there's tons of free online videos on YouTube or online med-ed that can confirm concepts for you. But what makes it tough is the volume of information. The pace that you have to learn everything at is much higher than college, and by the time you wrap your head around one thing, there's another 10 things waiting for you. Now the fix for this is to study efficiently and work smart, not hard. You can check out our other episodes on how to study properly, but the point is that this can definitely be surmounted by the right techniques and the right attitude. And it's just one of those things that's going to come with time. So don't let people scare you by saying that there's way too much to learn, because as you can see, doctors exist in the world. So if they can do it, you can certainly do it. They were just medical students at one point, pre-meds at one point. Now the next thing is becoming comfortable with discomfort. The other thing that makes med school hard is the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Most med students are type A people and they're used to being the top of their class and knowing what's going on. And this definitely changes once you become a medical student, because you find yourself at the bottom of the totem pole again, climbing your way up. It's a tough place to be because you're going to find yourself forgetting information that you learn and not knowing how to apply it as time goes on. You're going to be under the control and supervision of attendings and residents that know a lot more than you, and some that unfortunately use that to their advantage. Now the fix for this is essentially to just do what you can and enjoy the process. You have to learn to be patient and understand that this is a very long journey, and you're not expected to be an expert as a student. You're there to learn, so make sure you are learning and ignore the people that make you feel bad about it. You have to stop constantly focusing on the end result and comparing yourself to an attending physician, and just do the best you can at the level that you're at. Just lay that one brick down the best you can, and then you build that foundation by building those bricks one on top of the other. So you have to get in the habit of not comparing yourself to other people, especially not those superior to you. It'll come with time, you just have to trust the process. Now the next thing that makes med school tough is the fact that life doesn't pause for you. Medical school and becoming a doctor are just one part of your life. The other parts, as far as relationships, hobbies, life goals, it's not going to address these things. Those are still things that you have to manage on the side and figure out for yourself. Now obviously med school can be busy on its own, but also having to figure life out on the side can take it over the top. Most people are in their early or mid-20s going to medical school, which are formative years of your life. So sometimes it can take away from the normal people life experiences that you may have otherwise experienced, and this can lead to med school feeling hard. And it's one of the most common complaints that you hear. The only fix for this is time management. You have to study efficiently and get your work done in a productive way, and this is going to free up a lot of time, especially in the first 2 years, for you to do all these things on the side that aren't related to medical school but lead to a more fulfilling life. Work-life balance can definitely be attained. It might not be 50-50, and I don't necessarily think it should be. But instead of pitying yourself and complaining, try your best to manage your time well, and then the free time you do have, make sure to use it instead of doing something that doesn't really move you forward. Real quick guys, if you're getting value from these videos and podcasts, please remember to like, subscribe, and share it. It helps us reach more people and help more medical students and pre-meds, and we'd really appreciate that. Now, one of the things that makes med school quite tough is the uncertainty that you're going to face. So as you get older and you go through medical school, there's often more questions than there are answers. You start worrying about a bunch of things like, what specialty do I want to do? Will I match to it? Where will I match? Do I want a family? Where will I meet my significant other? Where will I live? All these questions can seem to come at you all at once and cause a bit of an existential crisis. But you need to understand that these questions and confusion in life are normal in everybody's life. It's not just medical students. Some things are just present in life in general that you have to deal with, and med school alone can't just take the blame for it. Sometimes it can definitely get in the way as far as time constraints, but if you look at any other high-paying career, or really any other job, it's not like it's the most convenient thing that allows you to do whatever you want all the time. So the fix for this is, again, to take time for yourself and lay out the goals that you have in each area of your life, whether that's health, relationships, whatever it may be. You want to do everything you can daily to make progress towards these goals, and find mentors in upper years in medical school, especially in the specialty that you want, and ask some questions and for guidance. These are people that have literally been through what you're going through and found a way to deal with it, so they're a great resource to figure out what you should do. A way to deal with uncertainty is to clear up as many things as you can, so it's always good to know what you're working towards in every area of your life, so you can have clarity on, at least I'm headed that way, and that can definitely help with the uncertainty. Other than that, you have to find a way to enjoy the journey and understand that you'll just never know it all in life. There won't always be a clear-cut answer for every single thing, and you just have to get comfortable with the fact that sometimes you just don't know how it's going to turn out, and that's okay. Just do the best you can where you're at and have a little faith that it's going to work out the way it's supposed to. So all in all, med school is challenging, but it doesn't have to be hard. And it's not hard because of the reasons that people might expect. So do whatever you can to make your journey as smooth as possible, and I promise you that med school can actually be pretty enjoyable if you do that. Hopefully this helped you guys out. As always, feel free to reach out to us and let us know what you want to hear about next, and we'll get back to you.